Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. And what you hear in the background is Mario on Twitter. They're going on about this situation that's going on in Hamas and Israel and all of the people that are just going through so much over there. It seems like the world never has its shortage of literal hell. And that's, of course, just brought to you by all this unchecked greed that has protection everywhere. Everybody likes to protect that dirty devil in greed hell. Don't you ever notice that? Not me. I've got courage. And very few people do. Check them. Check them. All right, look at Bitcoin, actually. I'm going to give you a show here on Bitcoin because what I see, I just took a look. I had a feeling, life is very spiritual, and I get a lot of these kinds of spiritual inclinations. And trust me, my friends know just how true that is. And I have given them my heart's information, heartfelt and true as it is. And they have benefited from that information. Whether it's in life or crypto, everything is life. And I have this feeling that maybe we are coming on that time where things might start bumping on Bitcoin. So let's take a look live at the Bitcoin chart together. I didn't set anything up. I just jumped online because, quite frankly, that's the way I do it, baby. That's the way I do it. I love having control over, like, when you go into spaces, one thing that I've noticed is you really don't have control over much of what's going on. And, oh, by the way, and if you haven't noticed, I put out a Pulse Chain Army video. Really cool art with the community. Check it out. I think you'll like it. It's meant for fun. It's meant for just to have, that kind of camaraderie with the community. But anyway, so what I noticed on this Bitcoin chart is, it kind of moved up fast, and I checked it thinking that, right? And I noticed it was moving. So maybe if we, kind of keep an eye on it, maybe this will be that moment. Maybe it won't be. We'll see. I did want to come on in any event, though, and continue to work on this media and make sure that our connections are staying solid, which they look good right now. This is actually the second video I just put out recently, so that's great news. And let's see. Without further delay, I'm going to get over to get you onto this window here. Check it out. You can still hear me. I am your happy healer lover. We are here for the bull run, baby. No, it's not about that Israel thing. That's just what happens to be on my screen. Except for now you're getting that blackness. Hang on just one moment while I find my screen. Where is it? But Jesus. There it is. Okay, so let's get to the Bitcoin chart, shall we? And so it's 27,948 right now. Let's go ahead and get to that chart specifically. And there we are. It's coming up in just a moment. There it is. So it's actually moved 27,965. And this chart has been so stubborn, not wanting to move up, and there it's even moved up more since I reported on this. So it is actually moving a bit. We'll see how far it goes. There's a lot of changes in the world. You would either expect that Bitcoin would maybe move down or move up, right? And so if it's moving up, that's a great sign also, because there's a lot of things that are happening in the world that would actually have that effect. And it's important to recognize that. So, all right, let's jump back over here again. I want to make sure you're getting a good view of this chart with me. No, that's too low. Okay, I got to rescale that. Hang on just one moment, my lovers. I'll rescale that so you can see what I see. Yeah. That's the better way to do it. And yeah, I'll send this window on back over. All right, so there you go, 27,948. So it is oscillating in that area. 27,999 actually. If you look at this, well, actually, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it picks up and goes, because that's what's going to drive everything else. Let's see how that is working in relation to our favorite chain, Pulse chain. I know when looking at my normal site here, where I keep track of my favorite coins, if you would, or the ones that help me see what's going on. Volume for, everything from PDI to Atropa to Pulse chain has actually gone up. And it's been trading in this particular view between 2.5 million and 3, maybe on the higher end, 3.5 in the last, I would say, few days. And now we're trading at 5.6 million, so we do see increased volume. And some of these charts have gotten hit pretty hard, although that's not really that hard in relation to where all of these are going to be going. So I wouldn't suggest anybody sell any of their coins. If anything, you should be looking at your favorite coins. Of course, this isn't financial advice. You make your own choices, and this is about information. That's it. Which is clamored for in this world where information is scarce. Well, everything is scarce in greed hell, but not with your happy healer, because here we live in abundance, the abundance of love. And anyway, so we got Teddy here that is up in the last 5 minutes by 1.68%. It's not a lot, but it's more than what it's been up in the last hour. So that does show a good sign. And actually, you can't see that, so I'm going to scroll a bit so you can. And there, well, actually, it's still a bit lower than you can see, so I would have to redo the aspect ratio again and show a little bit lower here for you. Okay. And now you could see more of what I'm looking at. Let's see how high it goes. This is one of the things, make sure that you guys can see everything I do. Yeah. So Tony right now is at 46.17. That's the down a bit, but it's actually pretty even in the last 24 hours. But if you go back, I'm going to click on Tony here, and if you go back to, I think, a day or two ago, it's dropped a bit. Yeah, so this could be a potentially good pickup zone. If you're interested in picking up some Tony, I am shining the light on it. Let's go ahead and get back out here to the chart. Same thing with a lot of these coins. Look at Hex right now, 0.00767. Imagine if this is the best price you're going to get on Hex before the bull run really gets going, and take a look at this line I have written here, that just my chart, and it's really following to that. So that looks like the bottom. You know what, the next thing I want to go take a look is the same thing as Atropa, because all of these, and DAI, all of these have been following a trajectory, and generally an upward one. So to think that these higher lows don't mean anything, that's inaccurate. Like, they do. And these higher lows is pretty much what's running the market at the moment, because the higher highs are not really running the market. It's eventually will, I suspect, and once we see that, I'm guessing we're going to see some real big moves. So keep that in mind. We're at probably, at least according to these charts, according to the bull run that Pulse chain has been in lately, This is showing every indication of wanting to take off. As long as the market takes off, I don't see why we wouldn't have something beautiful happen on Pulse Chain. Either way, you've got to remain patient and steadfast. Trading gets you wrecked. I've seen it just in this bull market time on Pulse Chain in the last couple of months. It's been absolutely insane in some of these situations where, and myself included, where you trade out of a coin and you think it's going to be okay, and it's detrimental because the coin never comes back to where you were. Think about that, guys. And also look at these market caps too. These market caps are quite small, like $19 million. This coin is going to be at $1 billion by the time it hits $1. So keep that in mind and react accordingly in your own plan with your own due diligence. All of these coins are fascinating and have very good fundamental facts that you should be aware of. Let's take a look at Pulse and see its trajectory. Now, of course, red never looks good, but it's red is when you're supposed to be buying. And by the way, this thing is red on the 5-minute chart, on the hour chart, the 6-hour chart, and the 24-hour chart, except for one thing. It's only down like less than 1%, right? Although we would like to see this higher, it's still, that same trajectory. It's going up. So we'll go ahead and add our line there for you. And that's it. Like, that really puts it in focus. Those higher lows are just as important as higher highs. And that was Pulse Chain itself. Let's take a look at PulseX. PulseX is trading at 1143 right now. And we'll know when those decimal points start, moving over. But right now there's 4 zeros, 1143. And again, we'll zoom out and get a bigger picture of PulseX. But the same story is pretty much happening. And that's upward momentum right there. And it actually started, where was this? This was September 13th. And we are now October 8th, almost a month later. And it's been pretty consistent in that direction, which we will do that to show a little bit more of that truth. Now, because the higher highs have been quite tame compared to the higher lows, I suspect that it's going to bounce off this line and it's going to fly because it needs to. Like, it's getting ready to make its next higher high. Now, with all this stuff going on, the geopolitical hell over in the Middle East, the geopolitical hell in Ukraine, and America has its own problems. Could this fall below the line? Sure. And though I doubt it, I don't really suspect that. And what we see here now on Bitcoin is that it's back up on an upward trajectory, so that's good. I'm pumped up about that. I want to see beautiful things happen with that. And if you are in this life trying to get by, trying to find a way forward, why not consider, especially if you're doing some investing already, or even if you're not, right? Like, don't think that you can't make a difference in crypto. Crypto will actually literally move up. It's like you could buy something for a penny and sell it for $1. And that's available now. If you wait until, it's 50 cents to sell it for $1, sure, that's great. You get a 100% increase. The S&P 500 might give you 10% or, 17% on the year. Like, that's huge. Sure. A lot of people are attracted to that. In fact, the masses are. But why would you want to do that when you can have it for a penny and then get 100x, right? So that's the logic. It sounds unbelievable. It sounds like some kind of scam. But if you hear the happy healer saying it, then you know that you can trust that at least it's not unrealistic. It's happening all the time. And on a chain like Pulse Chain that's brand new, with the kinds of dynamics on Pulse Chain, with this strong community, with your happy healer there. You know, I wouldn't bet against it. 27.97 right now on Bitcoin. And we're waiting for us to fly past that 28K mark. Imagine if during this cast, it just flies past that 28K mark and goes straight up to 29. God knows, man, right? That's huge. If that happens, that's huge. And it might even do better than that. It could, right? Like, that's exactly what we're waiting for. And the Bitcoin scenario is like this. It's been trading heavy, and it's been transferring the weak hands to the strong hands for quite a while now. And it's gotten to the point where it's just waiting on that extra push, that little extra volume that pushes it up, and then it flies. These kinds of wars that happen, we're becoming somewhat immune to it. I wouldn't consider this situation, to affect Bitcoin all that much. Maybe it will. Maybe it will, in that it will push it up even, right? So I wouldn't look at it and say it's a detriment to the future of cryptocurrency finance. Maybe on the United States stock market, maybe even more there. It's hard to say, right? These are finances. There's a lot of speculation going on. And make smart moves for your future. Now's that time when you want to be doing that. So, no, that's not where I want to be. Yeah, right there. All right, so PulseX, let's get back on to see what other... Atropha? Let's see where... Atropha. That's not Atropha, that's right, Atropha. Atropha is a new coin, actually. And they do liquidity providing for, and it's on an upward trajectory as well, for the Atropha ecosystem. And I'm supposed to have Jamie on Tuesday, so you should check that out. He is the developer over there. So we're starting to see some green pour in, which is good. Always welcome. Oh, SRF, let's talk about that. We're at 0.005. Beautiful. Same thing if you look at the trajectory on this. Again, these higher lows. And they're huge. Like, this coin has moved so hard that, at some point it might happen that this just, jumps into the stratosphere, right? And there's nothing that I could do or anybody else could do to stop it or, to make it go. All you could do is just be in it. And somebody's going to be holding those coins. They're 27 million. And I would like for you to be in it because I think that you would benefit from it. Now, that's just my opinion. You need to do your own research. This is not financial advice. I am a happy healer lover. And I talk about courage and love and unconditional love and doing things that are good for your future and your life. But, it's important that you make decisions that you can live with and that are conducive to your health, your life, your trajectory, the things you're doing. One thing I'll tell you is when you do greed, you have fear, an abundant amount of fear instead of an abundant amount of courage. And that gets in the way of life often too. So don't think that, always being safe is the way out of tragedy. Sometimes it's the thing that ensures your tragedy. Okay. Especially in greed hell, where by no action of your own, your whole world can go upside down because of the actions of others. They will tear you down on the way down themselves. All right, take a look at EHEX here. And it too is at a special deal. Again, maybe the last time. And remember, most of the liquidity in cryptocurrency for these dexes and these blockchains is all on Ethereum. So maybe it's going to be EHEX that's the really big deal right now. You know what I mean? Like, take a look at that price and think about the opportunity. It's going to, it can 3x and still be under a penny. Do you realize during the last bull market, this coin went to 56 cents? If it does that again, that's like 170x from here. Of course, you would separate, there's two coins that represent Hex now, one on Pulse Chain and one on Ethereum, but with Ethereum's liquidity, I wouldn't count it out. And of course, there's a lot of people on Pulse Chain. They know how to move around. They started out on Ethereum. That is where Hex was. My goodness, the fees were so high. You can actually trade on Pulse Chain and move around and get in and out of your favorite coins without paying a fortune. My goodness. And that's what Richard Hart's part of his goal was, because people would lose their butts trading. And it's true. It's very easy to lose your entire bag just making a few trades on Ethereum, especially during the bull market. So that looks like we'll cover a couple of these other coins here. Jack, which of course is the meme coin, Iceman, and then guys over there. I like it. I like the people, and I support people, and I validate their worth. Now I don't always get that same in return, and that's not why I do it in the first place. I do it because I support the people around me, and I'm in this community, and I want better for us all. And I recognize that by being that way, it's better. I can't force other people on how to be. Most people, they want to leverage their relationships. They don't just want to do love, right? So that's their choice, and that's the way they do things. I certainly don't endorse that, and I make that clear. That's fair enough, right? Fair game. But I'm also a lover. I still do things my way. And I believe in that. These are faith forces after all. CST, I keep an eye on that. That is because this is a powerful... Let me give you another view on this yet again. I want you to be able to see the price of these coins. Okay, so now you can see it's pegged at $1, but it keeps that price there from normal market fluctuation. And what people do typically, this is an onboard, offboard method for Pulse Chain, just to be clear. In fact, I will take you to their site. I have no problem doing that. And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. I don't know if it's connected to my personal account, but if the point is, you can go onto the Coast site, mint this coin by buying it through your bank, and then spend it on here. You're on chain. That's simple. And when you want to get off chain, you simply buy these coins and you burn it on their site, and they put the money in your bank account. Happens very quick, actually. I don't even know why anybody would use the bridge with this around. And we see the volume going up. It's becoming a popular way every day. People are using this, and there's arbitrage opportunities, because sometimes you'll see it drops a little bit lower. Sometimes it's even higher. Like, it just makes sense if you're going to be cashing out of Pulse Chain to do it on Coast when it's selling for $1.01, and then like the money you take off is literally almost about the money that's in your bank account when you're done. I know you're not achieving that by running through Coinbase, so consider it. I think it's a good option, and that's an honest assessment, and I don't get paid to say that. I support things that help people for real, and if they don't do that, then I have no business talking about it, and that's just the way I feel about it. TSFI was trading at $4 yesterday, or $4.50 actually when we checked it, and so now it too is also come down a little bit, although it's not bouncing off its very bottom. These coins have a lot of strength, a lot of holders. You know, a lot of the same people are in a lot of the same of these coins, kind of like SRF, but it's in the beginning stages. Just like this went through, came up, came back down, and then bam. And the same thing here, traded, and then bam, right? And so its high right now is $6.02. Not everybody gets to sell it at that rate. Not everybody bought it at that rate. The best thing that I would recommend for a coin that's going like this. You know, I think trading is dangerous. Most people are going to lose in trading. So if you want to be that person, oh, but look at the highs and the lows and look at the swings. Yes, they are swinging huge. I get it. From $2 to $4 back and forth day by day. There's a lot of if you're really going to just operate on that factor alone, then shouldn't you also at least consider when it makes the big parabolic moves and you're not in it, that cost? Because there's a cost to that too. And then what about the cost to your health? You're not living your life. You're up all the time looking at stupid charts. I mean, come on. There is a life to live, It's not all just about this. And we are getting some more green on the charts, though, and that's good. I think that... Oh, let's get in there. I think we looked at DAI for a moment, but we'll jump back in there again. Let's see... Yep. So all I would do for this is grab my little ruler and just show the same that we've been seeing. And that's it. And that's pulled back on the day. So this is like looking over the course of quite a while, August 5th. And that's how markets move. And that's how they move. If you haven't had a chance, go check out that latest art I put out for the community. It's great. Did it for you guys. I'll see you soon. Much love from your happy healer lover. You know what? I might, do I have it on?